Hey guys, Pixel here, back with some more Pokemon Planet. So last time, we decided to go up against Eric pretty much as soon as we had finished grinding up Furo. And needless to say, that was a complete sweep. But today I decided to try something a little bit different, which is more having it be more based on exploring. And I decided to start this by going to the route directly next to Cerulean, which is normally blocked off by a sleeping Snorlax, but this time it wasn't. So I decided to just take my bike through that gap and take cycling path all the way down to Future, pretty much ignoring all the bikers along the way except for one mandatory one at the end before entering the city. And almost instantly I head to the Safari Zone, and I do pay the fairly hefty 24-hour ticket and head in. And this is pretty much the part where I do a large amount or a decent amount of exploration, as it is the Safari Zone, but not as much as I thought I would have. I also use it as a place to partially grind up Charmeleon while I'm at it, and helping him gain a bit of experience and getting him to level 32. And after obtaining Surf and catching a male Nidoran, I head out of the Safari Zone to go get Strength. Which, it turns out, apparently isn't actually a thing in this game. Odd. And I almost buy a fishing rod, but it costs a few bit too much than what I have right now, mostly because of the price of the ticket. And I do a bit more exploring before heading back to the Pokemon Center, and I notice there's a guard standing outside Koga's gym. And it turns out apparently I actually need to beat Sabrina before I can actually take on Koga, which I guess kind of makes sense. And after heading into the Pokemon Center and healing up, I decide to head over to the PC to retrieve the male Nidoran I caught from the box and have him take up Sandslash's spot as my ground type attacker. And after going in and out one last time to get him fully healed, I head back to the Safari Zone to level up Nidoran and evolve him in a Nidorino. Unfortunately, the only attacking move I have is Horn Attack, a move that only really seems to take out around a quarter or a third of most Pokemon's HP. And the XP I get per battle is just abysmal for the amount of damage I'm actually taking. It's clearly just not a viable place to do grinding for him. So I decided to swap to Charmeleon just to grind him up a little bit, as my goal is to get a Charizard as quickly as I can. And once Charmeleon reaches level 33, I head back to Celadon and on the way out I decide to pick up the HM for Fly and teach it to Firo, as it'll help me get around the map a bit quicker, and it's a pretty good HM, and it's a pretty good flying move. But it won't really be of use right now, as we're mostly going to be staying in Celadon for the majority of this episode. So I do head back to Celadon and head to the Rocket Casino, as it's not a game corner at this point. And surprisingly, there is a legit no one guarding the entrance, so I easily head in and take on the first floor. And after taking on the first two rocket fronts, I notice something a bit weird about the hideout, which is the fact that there are wild Pokemon spawns within it, which just can be extremely annoying to deal with, as you cannot run from these encounters, and just because of how strong some of these Pokemon are, you can end up taking unnecessary amounts of damage. And then, well, after going to heal up, I decided to do some more in-depth exploring of Celadon. And I just see how spare some parts of the games are when it comes to the developers. I mean, like, the parts of the department store where there's a level with a counter but no vendor. I said this exact same thing in the casino, where there's just a counter, there's nobody behind the counter. It just gives me a very, very creepy vibe. Anyway, I feel that I'm still too weak for the Rocket Hideout, and I want Charmeleon to evolve as quickly as possible. So I do start by trying to level up against some more of the bikers, and it helps me get a bit of extra cash. just because of how much damage I take and the amount of experience I get in return, it just isn't worth it to grind there, and I end up settling on this route that's near Celadon, where I can pretty much one-shot all of the Pokemon, and I don't really take damage except from the Pokemon that know Quick Attack. And a few potions and trips to the Pokemon Center later, at level 36, Charmeleon evolves into the mighty Charizard. But the grinding still isn't done yet. I switched to my male Nidoran and continue to grind. And one level of unnecessary potion and revive use later, and Nidoran evolves into Nidorino. And back to the Team Rocket hideout. And other than the Giovanni fight, none of the Team Rocket grunts posed much of a threat. The most interesting thing to me was while I was partially trying to grind with Mankey off of some of the wild spawns, was how often the move Cross Chop was missing. It has 80% accuracy and pretty much hadn't missed once yet of this one during this run. I don't know if it's RNG coming back to bite me in the ass or what, but it is definitely frustrating. Anyway, after obtaining the card key and defeating the last two grunts, it's time for the Giovanni fight. And it was almost a complete pushover. So I easily took out his Onix, and for some reason he has a shiny Rhydon, Rhyhorn. And I took them both out with Vine Whip. And for Kangaskhan, I hit it with Acid to just lower its special defenses. I almost get Tengen out with a Mega Punch. And I go for Acid again, then get taken out by Double Hit. Then I send in Mankey. I go for Cross Chop, it goes for Double Hit, it misses. I take it to a Sliver, it nails me with Mega Punch, but I hit my second Cross Chop, winning the fight, and allowing Mankey to evolve into Primate. And that ends off today's episode, actually. And I just had I'd say this is one of the most frustrating episodes I've ever had to film, just with the amount of grinding I had to do, and how annoying the fact that Team Rocket's hideout has wild encounters. I mean, just seriously, some of those Raticates in there are monsters. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope you guys are excited for the next one, because I know it's going to be a decent amount of grinding, but we're also most likely going to be able to take out the next two gym leaders, Sabrina and Koga, at the same time. It might take a bit of grinding, but I know it's going to be worth it. And I hope you guys still enjoy the series when it's all over. But yeah, I hope you like this video, and peace.